but she was
Maureen O'Hara.
Maureen O'Hara. That's right.
And Edward McLaughlin. He was her father, I think.
Right, right. I think the mayor might have a hair that's out of place. I can tell her trying to get it under control.
Don't believe
Well,
a word
you know
he said,
what?
Nancy.
It looks
Don't believe
great.
a word he said.
Looks great, Mayor.
I wish I
You're
had
just
half
jealous.
of that hair, right, Larry? Right, James?
You're just jealous you don't have that hair.
It's not the right color.
Recording is starting.
I think she's bragging at this point. Yeah.
Oh, nothing but fluff.
Yeah, I think it's the only hair I have is growing out my ears.
Yeah, I just got on. And I see the three of you guys have hair out of place too.
Yeah.
Way out of place.
Does it show?
Not at all.
No, I left it over there somewhere.
Oh, happy belated birthday there, Deputy Mayor.
Well,
Oh,
thank you very
yes.
much.
Happy birthday. Are you
Thank
16
you.
again?
I am 16 again.
Oh,
I'm
he's
the
not
virtual-
a day over 25. Come
I'm
on.
that virtual age of 39. I can say this when we go golfing, Bob, right? I
Yeah,
am the youngest one in our group.
that is true. That is
true. Mhm.
Youngster.
Yes.
Hi,
Hey,
Robert.
Claude,
Go ahead.
Yes.
Hi, everybody.
what's this?
Yolanda has something for you, Claude.
What's this, Claude?
It's fading in and out. It looks like a
You got
Hold
to
it
hold
up.
it right in
Looks like-
front of you.
yeah. It looks
Right
like
in front of you.
In front of you. Don't lean out.
Okay,
There you
there.
go.
There you go, right there.
Right there.
Oops, down a
Hey.
little bit.
Abraham Lincoln. That's my little campaign thing.
Yeah, it's your toy. It's your toy.
Yes.
I found it.
My little really. I've got a
Yeah.
couple of them. Yeah.
Oh, good.
My
Okay.
little campaign thing.
No,
That's nice.
don't-
Nice. You hold on to that. Yeah.
It's
Oh.
just your toy. It's
That's my
just your
toy.
toy. Yes,
That's my toy. From the past.
from the past.
No campaign dialogue.
No. That's from 20. That's from 20 from the past, from 2013.
I thought it was so cute. I had to bring it and share
That's
it.
pretty good. Yeah. A long time ago.
Yes.
Time flies.
Hey, Chris,
What-
did you get my email?
No. Let me look.
Did you resolve your question?
No, I didn't, but I don't think it's like critical. I just was curious.
Okay.
So I'm good.
All right. You might send those to Jamie in the future, Jamie or Kevin, one or the other,
Oh, okay.
because they're the ones that can answer them for you.
Okay.
Usually.
Right. Yeah, I wasn't really sure who.
Yeah, Teresa is just the conveyor of that information.
Council, at 7 p.m. I'm going to start the meeting. So I will call the meeting for Monday, December 7th, 2020 to order. Per the Governor's Emergency Proclamation 2028, the City of Auburn is prohibited from holding an in-person meeting at this time. City of Auburn Resolution number 5533 designates City of Auburn meeting locations for all council, board, and commission meetings as virtual. All meetings will be held virtually and telephonically until King County enters into Phase 3 of Governor Inslee's Safe Start, Washington's phased reopening plan. And council, if you would please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. And Teresa, if you would please call roll.
Deputy Mayor DeCoursey,
I am here.
Councilmember Baggett,
Here.
Councilmember Brown,
Here.
Councilmember Jayraj,
I'm here.
Councilmember Malinga,
Here.
Councilmember Stearns,
Present.
Councilmember Trout Manuel,
Here.
All right, thank you. And we will move to announcements, proclamations, and presentations. Actually, we'd have none of those tonight. So we will move to appointments. And we have an appointment for Auburn's Poet Laureate this evening. But before we do that, I think we would like to go into a little bit of history. Some of you council were not here for the original Poet Laureate. Our first Poet Laureate was dear Dick Brugger, who recently passed away. I believe we have Jesse and Josh and Leela Brugger on the phone this evening. And family, I just want to once again thank you for sharing the treasure of Dick Brugger with us. He will remain in our hearts forever. There is not a time that you can't say the name of Dick Brugger without having a smile on your face. Look at the richness of his face that you can see on the screen right now. We will miss him forever. We have a small video tribute, I believe, to share. And look at the artwork in the background that was done by Jesse, his daughter. Jesse, you did him justice. And Leela, I can see a little bit in the background there too. But we have a video that we would like to share that gives you a little sense of who our first Poet Laureate was.
I retired from Auburn Youth Resources. A lot of my staff said, "Hey Dick, why don't you continue to write poetry?" I used to write poetry for them when they had a birthday or an anniversary. It was such a wonderful group of people. So I thought, darn it, I will.
Poetry. This most ancient form of literature is generally regarded as the fundamental creative act of employing language. It was decided in 2012 that Auburn would officially appoint its first Poet Laureate, and through a nomination process, it was affirmed that Dick Brugger would hold that inaugural position by appointment of the mayor for a period of 3 years. Brugger was described as a person of merit who is also an excellent communicator with a command of the craft and the best interests of poetry and the Auburn community at heart. He is a catalyst for goodwill and represented the heart of our community in the honorary role of Poet Laureate. His poems are accessible, thought-provoking, and often showcase Auburn. He has exceeded all expectations of the position. He is a published and award-winning poet and has many connections within the community that help to bring additional awareness and recognition to the literary arts. His poetry has reached a wide and diverse audience through the monthly Poets Corner section of the Auburn Reporter, and his poetry has been incorporated into public art initiatives. He wrote and shared poems at official city events, and he participated in a variety of public programs. His words, efforts, and work on behalf of the Auburn community have brought poetry to the forefront. Thank you, Dick Brugger, for your service and your commitment to the arts.
So council, for those of you that may not have had the blessing of knowing him, one of his favorite things was to say something was wicked. He and Leela were inseparable. And in fact, it was almost one word, Dick and Leela, or Leela and Dick. There was no separation there. And we know that they are forever together in our hearts. And again, Jesse, Josh, Leela, thank you so much for the gift of Dick and sharing him with us for so many years, and the treasure that he has left as a legacy in our community, and for all that the entire family gives of themselves to our community. Thank you. And yes. And now we will move to appointments. the 2021 through 2023 Auburn Poet Laureate, City Council to confirm the appointment of James Rogers as Auburn's 2021 through 2023 Poet Laureate. And I believe, if I am not mistaken, that Mr. Rogers is also on the call with us this evening. Just checking, I had heard that he was going to be. Anyway, do we have a motion? Let me see here. Deputy Mayor DeCoursey.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to appoint James Rogers as Auburn's 2021 through 2023 Poet Laureate.
Thank you. And Councilmember Stearns?
I'll second.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor DeCoursey, did you have any words that you would like to share?
Just we welcome James to fill the big shoes, and we know he's going to probably do just a tremendous job for us. It's wonderful to have a Poet Laureate. My mother was a poet. She passed it on to me, and I look forward to our Poet Laureates and what they present and provide to the city and their great contributions to Auburn.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from council? Seeing none, all those, or Councilmember Stearns, did you have your hand up? Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Your Honor. No, I saw that our new Poet Laureate really enjoys music, really enjoys vinyl. See some David Bowie and Prince and whatnot. So I am 100% behind that and really excited about this.
Thank you.
I am here. I'm not sure where you weren't able to hear me before.
There we go. I think we promoted you from an attendee to a panelist. That's why.
Hey.
Yes. So,
I've been promoted already.
You've been promoted. Yes. Your work is just beginning. So we would like to thank you for stepping up to this role in our city. We know that we are a richer city because of the nurturing and the love that our city has for the arts in all forms. And so we thank you for being here this evening. And we also thank you for the work that you are going to do to help enrich us. All right, council. All those in favor of the appointment of James Rogers as Auburn's 2021 through 2023 Poet Laureate, please say aye.
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 All opposed, please say no. Motion passes. Thank you again, James. All right. Appointment number 2 is the Airport Board. It's a reappointment modification, council, and due to a clerical error, the mayor and city council to approve the correction of Andrea Prossi's term date from 12/31/2021 to 12/31/2022. Do we have a motion? Deputy Mayor DeCoursey.
Thank you, Your Honor. I move to approve the correction of the term date for Andrea Prossi's from 12/31/2021 to 12/31/2022.
Thank you. And Councilmember Brown?
Would like to second that motion, Your Honor.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments? Deputy Mayor, did you have anything?
No, I think you said it all, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. All those in favor of the reappointment modification, please say aye.
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 All opposed, please say no. Passes. All right, council, we have several here that we are going to do under one motion. These are reappointments to boards and commissions. City Council to reappoint the following board and commission members. All appointees will serve a new 3-year term to expire on December 31st, 2023. Arts Commission, Edie Lady. Auburn Lodging Tax Advisory Committee, Aman Gog and Reggie Motto. Auburn Tourism Board, Julie Kruger, Rachel McAllister. BIA Ratepayer Committee, Bill Cowart and Bob Klontz. Parks and Recreation Board, Michael Hassan and Michael Palco Dean. Planning Commission, Judy Rowland and Sunil Kanal. Transportation Advisory Board, Citizen at Large position, 1 of 3, Peter Deturi. Urban Tree Board, Bryce Landred. And White River Valley Historical Society, Ronnie Beiersdorf. Deputy Mayor DeCoursey.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to reappoint the board and commission members as described.
Thank you. Councilmember Brown.
I would second that motion, Your Honor.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor DeCoursey.
Quite a list of great folks. We appreciate them coming back and serving the city and all they do for us in the city. Many of us know a lot of them, many of us know a few of them, and we know they're dedicated servants, and we greatly appreciate their time and effort.
Great. Thank you. All right, council, all those in favor of the slate of reappointments to boards and commissions, please say aye.
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 All opposed, please say no. Passes. All right, item D, Salary Commission reappointment modification. Due to a clerical error, Mayor and City Council to approve the correction of Nancy Colson's term date from 12/31/2020 to 12/31/2021. Deputy Mayor DeCoursey.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve the correction of the term dates from 12/30/2020 through 12/31/2021 for Nancy Colson.
Thank you. Councilmember Jayraj.
Thank you, Your Honor. I move to second that motion.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor DeCoursey. Deputy Mayor, you are muted.
How about that? I saw the red line through it and didn't even notice it. So, no, once again, we greatly appreciate Nancy's service to the city and all she's done in other aspects of the city, including the Salary Commission.
All right. Council, all those in favor of the reappointment modification for Nancy Colson on the Salary Commission, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Passes. All right, we have one more set of reappointments to boards and commissions. City Council to confirm the following reappointments to the Junior City Council for a 2-year term expiring August 31st, 2022. That is for Waylon Menzia and Jonathan Malinga. Councilmember Malinga.
Your Honor, I wanted to ask to abstain from this particular vote.
Okay, I'm not sure you need to. Do we have our city attorney? Kendra, would you mind weighing in on that?
So Councilmember Malinga, I'm sorry, you mentioned that you wanted to abstain from the vote?
Yes.
And do you want to chat for a moment? Do you want to state your reason why? Do you feel comfortable?
Just because it's family related, and I just wanted to make sure I was clear on, I was good and there's no conflict of interest on that.
Okay, so you can abstain from the vote if you would like to. If you prefer, the vote can continue without your vote.
Thank you.
All right, Deputy Mayor DeCoursey.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to reappoint Waylon Menzia, and Jonathan Malinga to the Junior City Council for a 2-year term expiring August 31st, 2022.
Thank you. Councilmember Trout Manuel.
I second that, Mayor.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor DeCoursey.
Thank you, Mayor. I've had the pleasure of working not only with other junior city council members, but definitely with Waylon and Jonathan. They both step up to the plate all the time and are willing and eager to not only serve, but to just be part of what they do for a junior city council and their tremendous efforts to improve the city. And our last meeting we had, both of them took on a number of assignments, including some assignments that you wouldn't think would come from young men like that, but they have been able to really step up. I'm just very proud of them. And Councilmember Malinga, I know you're proud of your son as well. So both of them are just great young men.
Thank you. All right. All those in favor of their reappointment to the Junior City Council for Waylon Menzia and Jonathan Malinga, please say aye.
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 All opposed, please say no. Any abstentions?
Your Honor, I'm abstaining. Thank you.
All right, motion passes, and I would like to share my appreciation for the work that both Waylon and Jonathan do as well. They were at the Jolly Holiday Lane on Saturday night, helping to direct the traffic. So you are right, Deputy Mayor, they are always willing to take on a task to help the city. All right, Teresa, do we have any agenda modifications this evening?
No, Your Honor, we don't.
We have no new business. We do have a public hearing for the 2021 Community Development Block Grant Annual Action Plan. I will gavel this to open it. Teresa, did we receive any comments for the Community Development Block Grant Annual Action Plan?
I have not received any, Your Honor.
Okay, so with that, I will close the public hearing. And we will move on to the section for audience participation. This is the place on the agenda where the public is invited to speak to the City Council on any issue. And at this time, we are allowing virtual participation. Participants can submit written comments via mail, fax, or email. All written comments must be received prior to 5 p.m. on the day of the scheduled meeting and must be 350 words or less. You may mail your comments to City of Auburn, attention Sean Campbell, City Clerk, 25 West Main Street, Auburn, Washington, 98001. You may fax comments to Sean Campbell, City Clerk, at 253-804-3116. Or you may email your comments to publiccomment@auburnwa.gov. Teresa, I believe we did receive public comment.
Yes, Your Honor, we do have two of them. The first one is from Jeff Oliphant. Mr. Oliphant thanked the city staff for the assistance and creativity in seeing the 7-Eleven project from initiation to completion at the former Key Bank building. And the second one was from Bob Zimmerman. Mr. Zimmerman expressed concerns about city staff, council, and mayor considering fax and fire codes.
Thank you. All right, we have no other correspondence for council review this evening. We will move to council ad hoc committee reports. Council ad hoc committee chairs may report on the status of their ad hoc council committee's progress on assigned tasks and may give their recommendation to the city council, if any. Our current finance ad hoc committee chair is Councilmember Baggett.
Thank you, Your Honor. The Council Ad Hoc Finance Committee, consisting of Council Members Stearns and myself, reviewed approximately 59 pages of claims vouchers totaling $4.2 million, dated December 7th, 2020. The committee also reviewed payroll vouchers for the period November 11th through the December 1st period, 2020, in the amount of $2.2 million. Upon completion of our review, the committee recommends council approval of these vouchers.
Thank you, Councilmember Baggett. All right, we will move on to the consent agenda. All matters listed on the consent agenda are considered by the City Council to be routine and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed. Deputy Mayor DeCoursey.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Councilmember Stearns.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor DeCoursey.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight's consent agenda consists of the minutes of the August 23rd, 2016, and November 14th, 2020, and November 17th, 2020 special city council meetings, minutes of the November 16th, 2020 regular council meeting, minutes of the November 23rd, 2020 study session, and the claims vouchers and payroll vouchers as described by Councilmember Baggett.
Thank you. All right, council, are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, if you would please unmute. All those in favor of the consent agenda, please say aye.
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 All opposed, please say no. Motion passes. We have no unfinished business, so we will move on to ordinances. Oh, Councilmember Baggett. Oh, okay, you're just getting ready. Sorry. Ordinance number 6805, an ordinance amending ordinances numbers 6693 and 6694, the 2019-2020 biennial budget ordinances, as amended by ordinance number 6712, ordinance number 6719, ordinance number 6720, ordinance number 6751, ordinance number 6752, ordinance number 6764, and ordinance number 6783, authorizing amendment to the City of Auburn's 2019-2020 budget as set forth in Schedule A and Schedule B. Councilmember Baggett.
Thank you, Your Honor. This particular ordinance is the eighth and final budget amendment for 2020 of $4.0 million, including $17,000 in grants for the Auburn Farmers Market and the Auburn Senior Center for an amended 2020 budget of $339.2 million.
Thank you.
I should say I should move to approve
Yes.
ordinance number 6805. I always jump the gun on these.
Great. Excited about it. Councilmember Malinga.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you. Councilmember Baggett, I believe you have shared what the motion was about. Are there any questions or comments from council? Hearing none. All those in favor of ordinance number 6805, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Pass. Ordinance number 6803, an ordinance relating to planning, adopting 2020 annual comprehensive plan map and text amendments pursuant to the provisions of RCW chapter 36.70A and adopting corresponding rezones related to certain map amendments. Do we have a motion? Councilmember Brown.
Thank you, Your Honor. I move the adoption of ordinance number 6803.
Thank you. Councilmember Jayraj.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll second that motion.
Thank you. Councilmember Brown.
Thank you, Your Honor. At their November 4th, 2020 and November 17th, 2020 meetings, the Planning Commission held public hearings and accepted public testimony, engaged in commission deliberations, and recommends approval of the package of 2020 comprehensive plan amendments. The city staff then presented during the November 23rd council study session, and the city council has considered this and are supportive.
Thank you very much. Questions or comments from council? Hearing and seeing none. All those in favor of ordinance number 6803, please say aye.
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 All opposed, please say no. Motion passes, and I would like to also express my appreciation for all of the work from the Planning Commission and all of the staff that is involved. It is a significant amount. And council, you'll remember the binders that you receive are fairly tall binders worth of information, and really appreciate your thoughtful review of all of that. Ordinance number 6804, an ordinance amending sections 19.02.115, 19.02.120, 19.02.130, and 19.02.140 of the Auburn City Code relating to school impact fees. Do we have a motion? Anyone? Councilmember Jayraj.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to make a motion to adopt ordinance number 6804.
Thank you. Councilmember Malinga.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you. Councilmember Jayraj.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is Title 19 of the Auburn City Code, contains standards and regulations pertaining to the collection of impact fees in the city of Auburn. Impact fees are authorized by state law, specifically Chapter 19.02 addresses the establishment, calculation, collection, and amendment of school impact fees within the municipal boundaries of the city of Auburn. The city originally established school impact fees in 1998 by Ordinance number 5078. Portions of 4 school districts occur within the city limits.
Thank you. Questions or comments from council? All right, all those in favor of ordinance number 6804, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no.
Aye.
Passes. Ordinance number 6807, an ordinance rezoning 6 parcels, approximately 37.1 acres from R20 residential and R7 residential to R16 residential zone, 16 dwelling units per acre with certain conditions. Do we have a motion? Councilmember Stearns.
Let's see. I move to adopt ordinance number 6807.
Thank you. Councilmember Trout Manuel.
I second that, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Stearns.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. The ordinance is related to the 2020 Annual Comprehensive Plan amendments. This separate ordinance is required or is prepared for Westport Capital, and that's the property near the Green River and between High Street. And the contract rezones require that it be recorded at the county offices.
Thank you. Questions or comments, council? All those in favor, Councilmember Stearns, yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. So I just want to say that it's really a beautiful looking. Am I on? I'm sorry. Okay. It's a beautiful piece of land. I have the privilege of walking by it most every day with my loyal pet Weimaraner. And one thing I wanted to thank Director Tate for sending me the wetlands report, the critical areas report. I did notice in the report that that there are 2 wetland sites that are adjacent to the property and the buffers extend into them. The map in the report had a 25-foot and a 50-foot buffer. I think that's a little bit on the narrow side. I believe in the city code it's 75 feet. So I just wanted to clarify that in the future, any development would come with a critical areas report, which I believe is required. And at any rate, our city code also has requirements in it. But I just wanted to clarify that. So thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Okay. All those in favor of ordinance number 6807, please say aye.
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 All opposed?
Aye. I'm sorry.
Please say no. Passes. All right, we will move on to resolutions. Resolution number 5544, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with Sound Transit relating to the Regional Growth Center Access Improvement Project. Councilmember Malinga.
I move that we pass resolution number 5544.
Thank you. Councilmember Jayraj.
I'll second that motion, Your Honor, and thank you.
Councilmember Malinga.
This resolution has Sound Transit allocating $1,625,000 from its system access fund toward the city's project through a competitive application and evaluation process. This resolution authorizes the mayor to execute an agreement between the city of Auburn and Sound Transit relating to the city's Regional Growth Center access improvement project.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of resolution number 5544, please say aye.
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 All opposed, please say no. Passes. Resolution number 5564, a resolution authorizing the mayor to amend a lease between the City of Auburn Airport and Normandy Aircraft. We have a motion. Councilmember Brown.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would like to move resolution number 5564.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Councilmember Stearns.
I will second.
Thank you. Councilmember Brown.
Thank you, Your Honor. In 2019, the Auburn Municipal Airport entered a 5-year airport property lease with Normandy Aircraft following council's approval of the negotiated lease, the lease terms between the parties in Resolution 5458. After further negotiations, the parties now seek to amend the lease to reduce the square footage that Normandy leases from the airport and Normandy's corresponding rent obligation to the city. The negotiated amendment between the parties will also call for other technical rent and cost adjustments provided for the lease.
Thank you. Questions or comments, council? All right, all those in favor of resolution number 5564, please say aye.
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 All opposed, please say no. Passes. Resolution number 5560, a resolution relating to an airport lease and authorizing the mayor to negotiate and execute an airport office and tie down lease agreement with Classic Helicopter Corporation. Do we have a motion? Councilmember Brown.
I guess I'm the airport person tonight.
Hey.
I would like to, Your Honor, move adoption of resolution 5560.
Thank you. Councilmember Stearns.
I will second that motion, Your Honor.
Thank you. Questions or comments from council? None. All those in favor of resolution number 5560, please say aye.
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 All opposed, please say no. Passes. All right, resolution number 5562, a resolution authorizing the mayor to negotiate and execute on behalf of the city an airport property lease with Spanaflight LLC. Councilmember Jayraj.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 5562.
Thank you. Councilmember Trout Manuel.
I second that, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Jayraj.
Thank you, Your Honor. Spanaflight LLC is an existing airport tenant with commercial lease expiring 12/31/2020. They are one of the premier flight training schools in the region and are recently awarded the contract to be Green River's College Preferred Flight Training School. The new lease, beginning January 1st, 2021, would secure Spanaflight LLC as an airport tenant for the next several years.
Thank you. Questions or comments? All right, all those in favor of resolution number 5562, please say aye.
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 All opposed, please say no. Passes. Resolution number 5571, a resolution relating to the Auburn Food Bank's operation of the Daytime Resource Center and authorizing the mayor to negotiate, administer, and execute an agreement with the Auburn Food Bank. Councilmember Trout Manuel.
I move to adopt a resolution number 5571.
Thank you. Councilmember Baggett.
I second that, Your Honor.
Thank you. Councilmember Trout Manuel.
In the mid-2018, the City of Auburn partnership with the Auburn Food Bank to provide daytime services, Ray of Hope, to unsheltered individuals. The service to unsheltered individuals continue to expand and increase significantly. The Auburn Food Bank and the city have agreed to continue providing daytime services to the under-sheltered individuals at the Valley city-owned property within the City of Auburn as a temporary modular building until Auburn Food Bank is able to move into the Auburn Consolidated Resource Center. The service that will be provided will include connect unsheltered individuals with resources to help them into permanent housing. The resolution number 571 will formalize the city's relationship and establish the contract amount for services for 2020.
Thank you. Questions or comments from council? Hearing none, all those in favor of resolution number 5571, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Passes. Resolution number 5572, a resolution relating to the Auburn Food Bank's operation of the night shelter and authorizing the mayor to negotiate, administer, and execute an agreement with the Auburn Food Bank. Member Malinga.
I move to adopt resolution number 5572.
Thank you. Councilmember Baggett.
I second that, Your Honor.
Thank you. Councilmember Malinga.
Thank you. The City of Auburn expanded its partnership with the food bank and began operating a nighttime shelter for unsheltered individuals. Since this time, the need for the services of the unsheltered individuals has continued to expand and increases. The Auburn Food Bank and City wish to provide a nighttime shelter for those individuals. This shelter is currently being operated within a portion of the space in the Auburn Consolidated Resource Center. This resolution 5572 is to formalize the city's relationship and establish a contract amount for the services for 2020.
Thank you. Councilmember Trout, did you have? Okay. All right. Questions or comments from council? Councilmember Malinga, did you have comments you wanted to make in addition? Okay. All right. All those in favor of resolution number 5572, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Passes. All right. We have come to the end of the business portion of the meeting. We will move to mayor and council member reports. At this time, the mayor and council may report on significant items associated with their appointed positions on federal, state, regional, and local organizations. We will begin with the deputy mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. During some of our resolutions that were just passed, somehow or other my connection kept going in and out. So I wasn't sure everybody else had the same problem, but all I got was a humming sound and the video all went away and everybody and mine went away. So just wanted to point that out. On the week of November 20th, along with Councilmember Trout Manuel, who will probably touch on this as well, and perhaps others, I attended the National League of Cities Summit Week, City Summit Week. We were originally scheduled to go to Florida for this meeting, but due to restrictions, we did it all virtually. And there was a tremendous amount of people participating virtually. It was nice to see people from all over the country actually participating in the summit. As a member of the Community Economic Development Committee for National League of Cities, we had meetings on November 16th and 17th. And I'll touch on just 3 items of the meetings we had for those period of time. So first one was a fairly long discussion and a position on the Community Development Block Grant Program, CDBG. And the Community Economic Development Committee has taken a position that the federal government must fully fund CDBG as a direct allocation to cities with the broad objective of helping low and moderate income people. We've seen a decline in the amount of funding of CDBG over the years. And once again, we'd like to see this not only made whole, but additional funds added to it to support the city. I know we use our 500,000 plus we get every year very well. And it'd be nice if we got $1 million plus every year or more to be able to do more that we need to do with those funds. Second piece of this was, of course, related to affordable housing. And the position, once again, is to have the federal government step up and do their share that we need to have them do, and fully fund, for example, affordable housing programs such as home partnerships, investment program, Section 8 vouchers, and public housing. As everybody's aware, the Section 8 program, public housing program, has years-long waiting lists. It's almost impossible for people in the 0 to 30% of AMI to secure housing. If they have to wait, it could be 5, 6, 7 years or longer, even before they're come up for consideration on the waiting list. So we're looking at hopefully having the federal government at some point in time, as we've talked for many years with them, to expand those programs, and also to develop a permanent dedicated revenue stream to produce and preserve affordable housing. We've talked about this in our King County Affordable Housing Committee, where the feds need to step up and do more beyond what they're doing and have that permanent stream of funding, and also to provide more federal tax incentives that would encourage private investors to build and rehabilitate affordable housing. There's a lot of federal programs. Low-income housing tax credit program does a good job, but it doesn't do enough. So we'd like to see much more funding come into place for that, and for the funding streams to be dedicated for preserving and producing affordable housing. Then lastly, we had very long discussions on the issues related to COVID-19. And two of the items I'll touch on, one is what is being called the Eviction Cliff. So in all of our communities all across the nation, we're seeing moratoriums in place for restricting or eliminating evictions during this period of time. And when those moratoriums are lifted, there could be a barrage of people that would just fall off the cliff and automatically become homeless if there's no remedy for them. So we're hoping not only in a stimulus package that may be coming forward beyond this one they're working on, to facilitate and assist people with that, and also to facilitate and assist landlords in their endeavors to keep their properties going profitably. Then the last piece of that is the homelessness, which again is not just Auburn, Seattle, the Puget Sound region. It's a nationwide problem. Everybody's experiencing the same thing. Some of my colleagues from California talked about the tremendous amount of homelessness they're experiencing. You know, in my years in Southern California, we lived around the Anaheim Stadium, Angel Stadium area, and it was always a very, very great place to be and to take the kids to. And that now it's 2 and 3 miles long of housing tents and homelessness along those stretches of land. That has to come to an end, and the federal government needs to step up and do more. And then lastly, on November 19th, I participated in our Growth Management Policy Board meeting. And I'll just touch on one of the items we had on that, which was a discussion on regional housing needs assessment for current and future housing needs. And this is also a collaboration working along with the King County Affordable Housing Committee and many others, including nonprofits, of where we are in our communities for affordable housing. And from 2010 to 2018, rents in the region increased by 53%, and home values increased by 67%. Annual population trends between 2010 and 2019 saw the region adding 3 new residents for every 1 new unit of housing. So you can see we're tremendously behind the curve in providing housing. Housing prices have risen at an unprecedented rate over the past decade. The strong population and job growth that continues in our region has led to an increased demand for housing. 1 in 3 households who make less than $50,000 in income a year is severely cost burdened, and they spend the majority of their income on housing costs. And there's continuing disparities and substantial disparities between white and people of color households, underscoring the ongoing effects of systemic racism in housing. And then between 2020 and 2050, the need to the identification of new housing units totals 810,000 units across the region, with 418,000 of those units in King County, 43,000 for Kitsap County, 161,000 for Pierce County, and 187,000 units needed for Snohomish County. And the total housing units needed by income segment from 2020 to 2050 shows that the 0 to 80% of median income needs 148,000 units in King County. And then above 80%, 270,000 units are needed for the total of the 418,000 units in King County. 303,000 new affordable housing units will be needed for growth for families at or below 80% of the area median income. And about 2/3 of the new housing needs to be affordable to fully address and meet the needs of future housing needs in the region. It just continues to show that we have a tremendous burden in front of us, not enough money to pay for it, and need to step up from the federal level and the state level to do more on their part to help the cities attain their goals for affordable housing. That's my report.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Councilmember Trout Manuel. Councilmember Trout Manuel, you are muted.
I also went to the National Leagues of Cities conference, and I think Mr. DeCourcy sat in my Human Development Committee, because we talked about every single item that you shared. And we are really working hard on trying to get Congress to keep funding the CBGC funds to give us more money to be able to help all of the services that we are needed in our cities. And Mr. DeCourcy is right. Every city that was there in my committee is having the same issues that we are with housing, affordable housing, protection of childcare, and everything he said. We are having the same thing. Also, I went to my HELO Latino committee, and we also shared about what some of the cities are facing there as well. A lot of them talked about defunding the police department, and they said that's not the right thing for us to be doing right now in this time of need of our police officers. So some of the cities are looking towards other ways of keeping their fundings and moving fundings around in their police department to be able to keep some of the services that they need, and also bring in some new training with the other programs that they don't need, so that way they still keep the fundings. It was, I felt that this conference, even though it was all on virtual, it was very well attended. They had a lot of good things to do. At the closing, we got to hear from our elected Vice President Biden. He dropped in and visited, gave us a few words of advice, and I felt like he was very sincere in what he had to say. Then on November 10th, I attended our Domestic Violence Initiative Regional Task Force, and they shared a video on everything that's going on during the COVID-19. And new requests for services went up 56.5%. And some went down at some services went down 26.1%. Some of them stayed the same at 17.4%. All of the programs reported survivors needing more intensive services. They also talked about most common impact on survivors has to do with finances and housing affordable housing, increased behavior, health concerns, escalations on violence, harassment, abuse, including COVID specific, lack of difficult access to legal remedies, lack of access to technical for services, not seeking medical care other than service due to COVID fear, increased racial, gender, and other harassments, lack of access to COVID relief because of immigration status, economic impact on the agencies, increased expenditures primarily related to personnel, technical, and flexibility financial assistance for survivors, loss of certain core fundings, primarily in donations, canceled fundraisers, challenges, donors, foundation priorities. Many programs also receive unexpected emergency funds, government and private. Most of these fundings will end abruptly December 31st, 2020. Then I went to my regional law and justice meeting on December 3rd, and we had the community court update. They talked about certain courts have been closing down. Berrien, they ended up closing their court, and Vital Resources. They talked about ours, the Auburn. They're really excited about the Auburn Community Court, and they can't wait until we get it going. Then they also had a panel of two women talk to us about criminal justice system. These two young ladies were in prison from the time that they were teenagers. One of them was a Native American young lady who talked about her abuse and her at home and also outside of home prostitution, and how she learned a lot by being in jail. And then when she came out, she got involved in college, got her degree in, she's an attorney now. She is a civil survivor. She's a civic survival project and staff attorney. So she's helping the Native American young ladies who are incarcerated on what to do when they come out, and she helps them with resources. Then there was another lady, Andrea. She was the African-American lady, and she also served in prison from a very young age. She got married at the age of 16, was in a abusive relationship, and that's what ended her in prison. And she just got out just recently. And she also got in college, and now she's a community passageway counselor. So it's really nice to hear what these people have gone through and what the services that we provide for them. And also after our meeting, our caucus, Sound City Association caucus met. And they're talking about, since we as Sound City Association members are always going to our meetings, monthly meetings, 1 or 2 or 3 meetings, they asked us, what can we do as the legislative body to help these committees? So they're talking about maybe forming something so that we can have more of a voice at the table to help our committees. So that is my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Baggett.
No report,
Thank
Your
you.
Honor.
Thank you. Councilmember Brown.
No report tonight, Your Honor.
Thank you. Councilmember Malinga.
Yes, just really quickly, Your Honor, I was able to attend that Jolly Holiday Lane Saturday evening on December 5th. And it was a really great showing of our community. I think they said that we had 800 cars that came through around the Lusk Grove Park area and over there by the Auburn Parks and Recs. Councilmember J. Raj, myself, and Councilmember Baggett, as well as the mayor, were able to collect letters from the children for Santa Claus, and then we were able to give out goodie bags. So it was just a really great time to see everybody out and about while we're practicing social distancing, of course. But it was a really great time, I think, for everyone that came through. And I hope we do more events like this in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Stearns.
Thank you, Your Honor. Last month, I think Council Member Trout Manuel mentioned the Sound Cities Association meeting, and I had a chance to participate on a panel for challenges faced by Black, Indigenous, and people of color candidates and newly elected officials. And it's pretty cool. Got a chance to talk about, you know, some of the challenges that we face, and, you know, who who has helped us in terms of, giving us inspiration, hope, and support, and what we can do to help other people who want to run as well. So I really enjoyed that. I also attended the National League of Cities meeting or convention or whatever it was this year. I'm not sure. I was part of the Indigenous Municipal Officials meeting, and we're a small group, but we're getting bigger. There actually are a number of folks from Washington State, and then we also welcome the new mayor of San Diego, Todd Gloria, who is a Tlingit, a tribe in Alaska. And I also had a chance to just on my own go down to the new Olson Creek culvert, which is on the Green River Road up right next to the Mary Olson Farm. And it was like a $900,000 replacement project of an old, narrow, dark culvert. It's really grim looking. The new one is huge, and it just, the stream just flows right through. And sure enough, I was there probably around 9:30 in the morning, and it was really crisp and sunny. And you as soon as I got out of the car, you could just totally smell the salmon. They were spawning, and you could see them, just like tons of them all along the creek, and really amazing, really majestic sight to see. And it's really cool to see that happening here in Auburn, and salmon, doing their thing. We just, as the chair of the Muckleshoot tribe said, they'll do it. We just got to get out of the way and let them do what they want to do. And it was totally cool to see. And I'm really proud of the work that's being done. This was all part of Ryan 9, so and King County. So that's my report.
Thank you. Councilmember J. Raj.
Thank you, Your Honor. There's one thing that I wanted to share with everybody is, like Councilmember Malenga, the Holly Jolly Lane. Not only did I enjoy it, but a lot of the kids enjoyed it. But I want to give a big shout out to our Parks and Rec group. They did a great job in putting this together in a short period of time, and I was amazed. But we could do more, like Councilmember Malenga said, that maybe we should think about doing it on an annual basis now. Other than that, social distancing, mask up, and stay safe.
Thank you, Councilmember J. Raj. Councilmember Stearns, I did want to say that you did do an excellent job at the FCA panel discussion. Very proud that you were a part of that. So thank you for contributing and providing awareness to those of us in King County who are on that journey to seek better understanding. Thank you so much for doing that. Few items, as I've said numerous times, our city may not be the wealthiest if you count that only by income levels. But if you count it by how our community comes together in times of need, we are one of the richest by far. Those types of things evidenced by the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, the Senior Center provided a Thanksgiving meal to go for seniors. And I had an opportunity to be there for a short time to help hand out safely social distancing, people in their cars. And the turkeys, I believe they cooked like 24 turkeys, and it was delicious smells. It made me very, very hungry being there, but just knowing that the seniors in our community were going to have a delicious Thanksgiving meal. And then the next day from 8 until 2, worked with the Auburn Food Bank down at Holy Family Church as we provided the Thanksgiving meal. This year it was much different. It was, as most things are, it was drive-through. And there were 700 plus families that were helped with a Thanksgiving meal. So always proud and appreciative of the work that goes on in our community. This past week, I was able to do a tour, safely social distanced with masks on, of the blockable units that are down at Valley Cities. For those of you on council who have been around for a couple of years, you will recall the battle that we had to ensure that $1.5 million that was allocated in the state budget through Commerce came to the city of Auburn for those blockable units. At the last minute, there was a power grab, if you will, for that funding, and we prevailed. And there are 12 units. Yes, thank you, Larry, for Councilmember Brown, for all of your assistance in that regard. We have 12 units, as I said. The owners of Blockable was there to do the tour. There are 5 studio units and 7 one-bedroom units. They are roughly 400 square feet for the one-bedroom units. Doesn't sound like a lot of room, but those units are beautiful. The outside is impressive as well. The units were built at their factory in Southern Washington and moved to the site. I asked how our permitting department did, and the owner said that the city of Auburn was the easiest city that they have ever worked with as far as getting permitting and things done. So kudos to our team for their work on that. But those blockables, council, if you haven't seen them, I highly encourage you to drive by. There will be at least 12 people who will be receiving the keys to those units, and it's supportive housing because the services that they need will still be provided at Valley Cities. So huge thank you to Valley Cities as well for all of their work on that. And then I will agree with council, thanking them for those who were at Auburn's Jolly Holiday Lane. There were a lot of volunteers in our community and businesses who came together basically at the last minute, since we weren't able to have the parade this year, to provide a free, fun holiday experience for, as Councilmember Malinga said, almost 800 vehicles. So each vehicle had at least 2 or 3 people in it. So a good number of individuals in our community able to have a little bit of joy for the holidays. We were safely social distanced with masks on, but just seeing the looks on the children's faces as they were coming through. We had a snow machine as well, so they got to experience some snow. We had dancers inside clear inflatable globes that were doing Nutcracker. And so I'm just so proud once again of our community coming together. On Friday night, the 4th, we typically do a Christmas tree lighting during our Santa parade. Well, obviously we weren't able to have that this year. So we did a tree lighting. We still selected a young person from our community to light the tree and to meet Santa. This year's tree lighter was Alette Heel. So we met down here at City Hall at 6 p.m. on Friday night, the 4th, and Alette and her beautiful family got to meet Santa. And Alette flipped the switch along with Santa and the beautiful Christmas tree in our plaza, and all of the other lighting came on and will remain on through the holidays. So it's another way to enjoy something for free for people in our community. Council, I would imagine that along with me, you have been driving around in the community and you have noticed that more and more people this year are decorating their homes. I encourage you for a fun evening, do what we did as children, get in the car, drive around, and just enjoy the spirit of the holidays with all of the decorated homes. And for everyone out there who has decorated, my personal thank you for bringing joy to our community. And with that, I will say—
Mayor?
Yes.
Could I say something that I forgot to recognize someone?
No, absolutely
No,
no.
okay. Oh,
I'm kidding.
I just wanted to share. I have it in big letters here. On a day before Thanksgiving, the Latino Unidos is the Olympic Middle School Club. And the kids got together and they wanted to do something for the Latino families. And so they made a video and about Thanksgiving and how to give and everything. And they gave 44 boxes of food for 44 families. They contacted me and I got the Kiwanis Club to help them out. And then a Latino business came in and gave them $1,000 check because they're going to do this again for Christmas, and hopefully they'll be able to serve more families. But they started hearing from the Latino families that when they go to get food at the food banks, they don't get their staples like beans, arroz, all the Mexican spices, the jalapenos, and all the stuff that they fix. So they gave this huge box full of those ingredients plus other stuff they gave, and they gave them gift certificate. So I just wanted to give a shout out for that group, Latino Unidos, because those kids there's a group of 34, 38 students that are doing this. And for them to think about their community is just something to really give them a shout out for doing that.
I agree. And their leader, Pilar, does an absolutely wonderful job of creating that sense of community for them. Councilmember Baggett, I see your hand is up on the screen. Did you have something you wanted to share?
Yeah, just briefly, on Facebook, I noticed that Councilmember Stearns had shown pictures and photos of the salmon spawning and the Raya 9 involvement. And I had made a comment to him on the Facebook that somewhere up above, Bill Pelosi is looking down and smiling on us all. So keep up the good work, Chris.
Thank you, Councilmember Baggett. All right, with that, with appreciation to council and to our team Auburn for all that we do, all that is done in the community, we are adjourned. Thank you.